Hey guys, in today's video I'll be reading you Nyarlathotep. I have headphones in, as that way I can listen to the audiobook, but just so you can't hear the narrator who's doing the video, I'll be reading it off the screen right over here, so that's why I'm looking this way. But I'm wearing headphones so I can hear it, but so you can't hear whoever it is talking over me. So, let's begin. Nyarlathotep. The crawling chaos. I am the last. I will tell the outing void. I do not recall distinctly when it began, but it was months ago. The general tension was horrible. To a season of political and social upheaval was added a strange and brooding apprehension of hideous fiends of danger. A danger widespread and all-embracing. Such danger as may be imagined only in the most terrible phantasms of the night. I recall that the people went about with pale and worried faces, and whispered warnings and prophecies which none dared usually repeat or acknowledge to himself that he had heard. A sense of monstrous guilt was upon the land, and out of the abysses between the stars swept chill currents that made men shiver in dark and lonely places. There was a demoniac alteration in the sequence of seasons. The autumn heat lingered fearsomely. Everyone felt that the world, and perhaps the universe, had passed from control of known gods or forces to that of gods or forces which were unknown. And it was then that Nyarlathotep came out of Egypt. Who he was, none could tell, but he was of the old native blood and looked like a pharaoh. The fellow he knelt who saw him and could not see why. He said he had risen out of the blackness of 27 centuries, and that he had heard messages from places not on this planet. Into the lands of civilization came Nyarlathotep, so slender and sinister, always buying strange instruments, glass and metal, and combining them into instruments yet stranger. He spoke much of scientists of electricity and psychology, and gave exhibitions of power which sent his spectators away speechless, yet which swelled his fame to exceeding magnitude. Men advised one another to see Nyarlathotep, and shuddered. Where Nyarlathotep went, the rest vanished. The small hours were rent with the screams of nightmare. Never before had the screams of nightmare been such a public problem. Now the wise men almost wished they could forbid sleep in the small hours, that the shrieks of cities might less horribly disturb the pale, pitying moon as it glimmered on green waters gliding under bridges, and old steepless crumbles against the sickly sky. I remember when Nyarlathotep came to my city the great, the terrible city of unnumbered crimes. My friend had told me of him, of the impelling fascination and allurement of his revelations, and I burned with eagerness to explore his uttermost mysteries. My friend said they were horrible and impressive beyond my most fevered imaginings, and what was thrown on a screen in the darkened room prophesied things none but Nyarlathotep dared prophesy, and in the sputter of the sparks there was taken from men that which had never been taken before, yet which shewed only in the eyes. And I heard it hinted abroad that those who knew Nyarlathotep looked on sights which others saw not. It was in the hot autumn that I went through the night with the restless crowds to see Nyarlathotep, through the stifling night and up the endless stairs into the choking room. And shadowed on a screen, I saw hooded forms amidst ruins, and yellow, evil faces peering from behind fallen monuments, and I saw the world battling against darkness, against the waves of destruction from ultimate space, whirling, churning, struggling in the dim and cooling sun. Then the sparks played amazingly around the heads of spectators, and hair stood up on them, and wild shadows, more grotesque than I can tell, came out and squatted on the heads. And when I, who was colder and more scientific than the rest, mumbled a trembling protest about imposture and static electricity, Nyarlathotep drove us all out to dizzying stairs into the damp, hot, deserted midnight screams. I screamed aloud that I was not afraid, that I never could be afraid, and others screamed with me for solace. We swore to one another the city was exactly the same, and still alive. When the electric lights began to fade, we cursed the company over and over again, and laughed at the queer faces we made. I believe we felt something coming down from the greenish moon. For when we began to depend on its light, we drifted into curious, involuntary marching formations, and seemed to know our destinations, though we dared not think of them. Once we looked at the pavement and found the blocks, loose and displaced by grass, with scarce a line of rusted metal to shew where the tramways had run. And again we saw a tram car, lone, widowless, and dilapidated, and almost on its side. When we gazed around the horizon, we could not find the third tower by the river, and noticed that the silhouette of the second tower was ragged at the top. Then we split up into narrow columns, each of which seemed drawn in a different direction. One disappeared in a narrow alley to the left, leaving only the echo of a shocking moan. Another filed down which we showed subway entrance, howling with the laughter that was mad. My own column was sucked toward the open country, and presently felt a chill which was not of the hot autumn. For as we stalked out in the dark moor, we beheld around us the hellish moon glitter of evil snows. Shocking, inexplicable snows swept asunder in one direction only, where lay at gulf all the black earth for its glittering walls. The column seemed very thin indeed as it plodded dreamily into the gulf. I lingered behind, for the black rift in the green-litten snow was frightful. I thought I had heard the reverberations of a disquieting wail as my companions vanished. But my power was to linger, was to silent, as if beckoned by those who had gone before, that floated between the titanic snowdrifts, quivering and afraid into the sightless vortex of the unimaginable. Screamingly sentient, dumbly delirious, only the gods that were can tell. A sick, insensitive shadow writhing in hands that are not hands, and whirled blindly past ghastly midnights of rotting creation, corpses of dead worlds with swords that were cities, charnel that would have brushed the pallid stars and make them flicker low. Beyond the world's vague ghosts of monstrous things, half-seen columns of unsanctified temples that rest on nameless rocks beneath space and reach up to dizzy vacua above the spheres of light and darkness, and through his revolting graveyard of the universe the muffled, maddening beating of drums and thin, monotonous whine of blasphemous flutes from inconceivable, unlighted chambers beyond time. The detestable pounding and piping whereunto dance slowly, awkwardly, and absurdly gigantic, tenebrous, ultimate gods, the blind, voiceless, mindless gargoyles, whose soul is Nyarlathotep. Hey guys, just wanted to apologize for having the headphones on. I just need to be able to end at time and when to start talking again, or reading again, because in the video doesn't exactly and go on into the next set of words and when I want them to, though I'd really like it if it did. So just wanted to apologize for that. And if you like this video, please hit like at the bottom of the video. And if you want me to do any other books, don't forget to tell me about it in the comments. And if you also liked it, don't forget to hit subscribe. So I'll see you guys later and stay safe.